Ever wonder what the real reason is behind your favorite classic stars of the silver and small screens? Real Stars Weekly's got you covered. Loughlin, classic Hollywood icon, sexy star of TV's Full House and ruthless leader of the notorious organized crime syndicate, the Winter Hill Gang, was born on July 28, 1964, as Lori Ann McLaughlin, in Charlestown, Massachusetts. Her parents were Bernie McLaughlin, Irish-American gangster and leader of the dreaded McLaughlin Brothers Gang, and Patricia O'Malley, Bernie's best friend and drug mule. Lori grew up in a cold, dreary household with her father, and was often left alone day and night while he was out breaking the arms and legs of delinquent debtors. Lori would spend that time looking into the mirror, impersonating all the funny murderers and lowlifes Bernie brought around the house. Bernie was quiet and distant with Lori, but as his only living heir, he spoiled her rotten, getting her everything she desired, including her first modeling gig at the age of 16, which he secured by threatening a talent agent with knives. He expected great things from Lori, hoping she would be the first in the family to leave the slums of Boston and organized crime behind. By 1985, thanks to her father's supportive threats of violence to the right people, she began working steadily as an actress and model, under the less aggressively Irish name, Lori Loughlin. Lori's big break, playing Aunt Becky on Full House, originated as a money laundering scheme for her father, but developed into one of the most iconic roles in television history. Things were looking up for Lori. If she could make her status as a Hollywood starlet stick, she could leave her loathsome upbringing behind permanently. But then, disaster struck. In 1991, Lori's father, Bernie McLaughlin, was shot dead during the routine collection run at a male fertility clinic in Charlestown, Massachusetts by Whitey Bulger, Bernie's sworn enemy and leader of the fearsome Winter Hill Gang. Lori was heartbroken, but not surprised. She decided to stay out of it for the good of her career. The power vacuum that formed in the aftermath of Bernie's death led to a string of revenge murders and violent territorial disputes that soon escalated to the deadly Irish Gangs War, with the Winter Hill Gang, led by Whitey Bulger on one side, and the McLaughlin Brothers Gang on the other, led by Bernie's fun but incompetent brothers Punchy and Little George. In 1995, at a celebration for Punchy's 46th birthday at a McDonald's place, Punchy and Little George and many cute children were murdered by a machine-gun-toting clown who turned out to be Whitey Bulger in a brilliant disguise. Lori, the only living member of the McLaughlin crime family, was forced to return to Boston and take up the reins of the McLaughlin Brothers Gang. But only temporarily, she promised herself. Once she was able to pull the gang's finances back from the brink of insolvency and get her revenge on Whitey Bulger, she would return to her TV family on Full House, which was forced into indefinite hiatus, the cast and crew waiting patiently for her return. But every time she thought she was out, they pulled her back in. Whitey proved surprisingly difficult to kill, and the gang's complex web of financial entanglements was nearly impossible to navigate. Lori, frustrated and unhappy, became more and more fierce and cruel, beginning to act just like the nefarious characters she played in her mirror all those years ago. By the time Lori finally got her revenge on Whitey Bulger, murdering him with a jailhouse shank in a West Virginia federal prison, the fun and lovable Aunt Becky was nowhere to be found in her cold and sneering visage. She had become her father, and there was no escaping it. Full House was officially cancelled after 5 years of waiting around for her return. The fans were heartbroken, but not as heartbroken as the little Irish girl from a crime family in Boston, who dreamed of something better. After marrying Whitey's consigliere, Massimo Giannulli, Lori oversaw the merger of her small-time McLaughlin Brothers Gang and Whitey's Winter Hill Gang, eventually becoming head of the Winter Hill Gang herself. On March 12, 2019, Lori and her husband Massimo were arrested in connection with an alleged nationwide college entrance exam cheating scandal. They were charged with conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services malfraud. For her part, Lori maintains her innocence and calls the charges against her politically motivated. Want to hear more real stories of your favorite classic stars? Subscribe to Real Stars Weekly, and let us know what classic stars you want to hear the real truth about.